teacher, work with the families, and we work together in order to create a plan that will help that student so we can create that student achievement. And then finally, we want to make sure we act on it, or we're going to execute and implement those strategies based on that problem-solving framework. It's always important. So we're going to go through, we're going to continue to progress monitor that data in order to move our students. So we're going to really work effectively with the administrators to look at that data every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and a monthly basis in order to move our students. So we'll work together. Again, as a team, it's important to know that MTSS is a team approach, and that's how we work to solve the problems in order to help move the students.
Yeah, one of the things I want to emphasize about the MTSS plan is that it is team. It's every person in the school working together to support the students, be it social workers, counselors, the teachers, anybody that's involved in the students' day-to-day. They're there to support and give input into this plan to make the student either move in a social, emotional well-being or academic progress. So looking at Burr Oak Academy and Burr Oak School, one of the things that we focused on a lot this year is redesigning our PLCs. We want to really spend a lot of times digging into the data. We want to look at each individual student. We want to make sure that we understand exactly where the student is when they enter our school, how much learning loss took place over the summer, and then develop those plans as a team, moving all of our grade levels forward, knowing that no student goes unaccounted for. And that takes place during common planning time, okay? Every one of my grade levels has common planning time, so the entire third grade team will be working together to develop a plan to move the entire third grade forward, not just one classroom, but the entire grade. So we're not looking at it from a standpoint of just one room. We're looking at it as a standpoint of how do we support each other to move all students forward. Next, we worked on creating, and we did create, data routes. Okay, one of the things that we found and we through research is visual representations of where our students are at are huge. So we have created diagrams placing our students so that we can see growth over time, and we want to see students move from one of those levels to the next level. And we never want to see a student stay stagnant at a level. Okay, so if they're in that red, we want to advance them to yellow. If they're in the yellow, we want to advance them to blue or green. So we're looking for an upward trend over time. Okay, and we'll be able to do that, really digging into that at our mid-year assessments, and along the time when we're doing formative assessments throughout the months. Enhanced classroom observations and supervision and walkthroughs. We have 2 forms that we've created. One is looking at the actual practice and instructional planning. And then the other one's addressing rigor and differentiation. We want to make sure that our teachers are differentiated. Okay, we don't want to see a row of students sitting in front of us giving the same instruction. We want to see maybe some direct instruction, and then let's break down in our small groups and let's see and teach the students at where they're at, and then put students up high. Next, really focus on professional development for our staff. We realize that our staff needs to be trained. Everybody assumes that staff come out of college and they know everything about best practice. Not true. We want to make sure we're providing our staff with how do we differentiate, how do we increase the depth of knowledge questions, how do we increase the vocabulary we're using. Is our objective linked to the standard for the day, or what they're teaching for instruction center? Also with this, we have after school tutoring. Right now, we just started our tutoring this week. We have 200 students in tutoring at Burr Oak and Burr Oak Academy. Okay, third is China. So we have 200 students right now. We have 100 in each building involved in our after school program and tutoring. So Tuesdays we're going to really hit hard on reading, and then Thursdays is going to be math. And we're trying to keep those groups as small as we can to provide the best direct instruction as possible in targeted instruction during that time. PBIs incentives and attendance incentives. We came up with a master calendar to really give students
basically incentives to come to school, behave, because if they're not going to either, they're not getting instruction. So we want to make sure that we're looking at how do we motivate our children. We want our children motivated to be at school so that they can get the best quality instruction possible. And that's done through, believe it or not, incentives. And we've got a whole master calendar listed out. We've got programs to put in place where students are going to be, if you have a 92% for the month of, say, November attendance rate, we're going to have a function for to support you and to reward you for your attendance. Lastly, we're working with this, not lastly, but we'll be working with Ms. Washington and creating a series of family engagement nights. We know that the best teacher in a child's life is their parent, the most impactful. So we're going to do that. And so we're going to get parents in working with our teachers. And lastly, we created a makerspace and Lego Enrichment Club for after school. I'm pretty excited to roll it out. And I think we'll see what that's going to encourage our students to do in the next month or so. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra Brown. I'm the principal at Calumet Middle School. So our goal for addressing our student gap is, first of all, focusing on our Tier 1 instruction, so that's the instruction that everyone gets in our building, and intervention. So it's either remediation or enrichment, just depending on where they score. The second thing, our students that score the 50 percentile and below will automatically be in Tier 2 intervention, and so we will focus more on those skills that they're lacking to try to refine those to show some growth. Next, our teachers will receive professional development, so that professional development will help them, A, read the data, B, look at how to group students and how to best teach the skills that the students need to get to move to the next level. And then the students will also be in small groups according to scores. So that's throughout the day. So if they go to social studies, they should be in small groups according to their reading scores. If they go to science, they should be in small groups according to their math scores. We will be using web-based computer programs that are directly tied to NWBA. So it's tailored to the student. So it's not a cookie cutter. So if you score 200, then the skills that you get will be the assignments that you get will be tied to that. We will be doing school-wide data dives, especially after winter assessment. So that way we can make a comparison between the fall and the winter to see how much students have grown. And then they will get another plan. So if they've grown, great. But if they haven't, we still want to give them the additional skills that they need. We presently have after-school tutoring, Tuesdays and Thursdays, our academic tutoring. Our teachers participate in weekly PLC meetings to discuss student progress. So that's when we drill down on individual students at each grade level. And lastly, students are participating in goal setting and celebrations. So for our students, if they made a 5-point growth, they still need to be celebrated. So they still have to feel like they're doing something versus always celebrating somebody that got 20-point growth. We have to celebrate all of our students. So we have to encourage them to keep on going. And that's all I have.
So we look forward to monitoring the progress of our students, and we will have an update after the winter assessments in January.
So, thank you to the academic team for that presentation. And I really hope that you saw how intentional our practice is as it relates to tackling this problem. Because yes, it is a problem. But we can't do anything unless we know where the challenges are, and then we can put effective systems and structures in place. In line with the data that our academic team just shared, we presented some certificates of achievement to our students in grades kindergarten through 8th who had the highest grade level RIT score for their grade level. So The student who scored the absolute highest received a certificate of achievement from the superintendent. In third grade, we had a three-way tie, which is very exciting. So as you can see on the list for reading and math, and we're going to do this every time we take this test. The students see their name on this list and get excited and say, you know what, I gotta beat the next kid. I want to be the top contender. So let's give a round of applause to all of our students and their teachers that they learn.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
quick question. With the top scores, what was their percentile?
I don't have it right in front of me, not on my list, but all of those students are far above the 80th percentile. So the 80th, I know for a fact that first graders were all 87. They were all 87. You notice we have a kindergarten who's the top in reading and math, Chloe Carter Harts. So we have some students, and then again in sixth grade, Bella Louise. So we have some rock stars that we have to shine and show them what they're doing. But more than anything, we want to encourage and motivate the rest of our students to get on this next time.
I think that's right. I just have another question. Looking at the data, did you all do a comparison from last year to where they are? Because say for instance, if they was in grade level or fourth grade, what did they grow from fifth grade? So we have a comparison point. Did you all?
Ask that question again, please.
So looking at the data, did you all compare, so say for instance, if the students in fourth grade, now they're in fifth grade, they took the test, did you all compare where they were from fourth grade? This is the data point.
No, we don't compare it that way because the fourth grade standard changes. So when they were in fourth grade in May, when they come back in August, they're automatically going to be at a higher standard in the fall. So essentially what we're looking at is, did the kid lose something over the summer? So if the kid is not making their fifth grade target in the fall, that means that that kid lost ground over the summer. So we're not necessarily comparing it to what happened in the summer, but we give information to say why this kid is behind.
Right, and you can compare also if that kid was behind in fourth grade, third grade, and keep going down, trickling up.